Right now this morning, last night's vice presidential debate had its share of fireworks. Coming up, we'll recap the moments everybody's talking about this morning. And cocktails, comedy, and crooners. Get ready for a night in New York City. Hear more about the Pump House's upcoming cabaret show.
Plus, we have elevated fire weather across the area again today. It is at a high risk, and when I come back, we'll talk about the winds associated with that in your Quickcast.
Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us for News 8 Now this morning. I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Art Jarrett.
It is Wednesday, October 2nd. What can we expect on the second day of October?
How about a little bit of warming, some breezy and gusty winds? We'll get right to it here. As last hour we were just talking about, there are folks here trying to get me to get a dog out there. So you folks that are going to be out walking your dog this morning, please just remember it's going to be breezy and gusty out there. Fire conditions are going to be holding on as well. We're going to be seeing dry conditions across the area. In fact, you can see all the fire that's out of burning across the United States. But let's get back here to locally. We're going to see these winds get up to 30 miles per hour for us today. Milder conditions will ensue as we go into the remainder of the work week and into next week and some days on forward. We're looking at, again, the breezy and gusty winds coming out of Canada. Actually, you're seeing them from the south as well. They're going to combine, and we're going to be picking up some winds that are going to hold on. As I mentioned, as I said earlier, we're going to be looking at winds getting up to at least rustling the leaves and getting up to at least 20 to 30 miles per hour plus in some cases. We'll see the current temperatures right now, but as we go through the next few days, we're looking at this holding on for us. Mild conditions working in with warmer air on the way. In fact, that'll hold on going into the weekend as well. The winds themselves will subside later today. We'll also hold on as we get into the rainfall potential. Not much happening thus far, but once we get into the next couple of days, there's maybe a blip coming up for Thursday, and then we'll see maybe a blip coming up as we go right into possibly into the weekend too. I'll talk about that when I return. So back to you.
For the first and likely last time, the vice presidential candidates went head-to-head in a roughly 90-minute debate hosted by CBS News last night. CBS News' Jared Hill is there this morning with the latest.
A handshake set the tone for a mostly civil debate. Vice presidential candidates J.D. Vance and Tim Walz, in their first meeting, sparred over top issues like Iran.
Iran is closer to a nuclear weapon than they were before because of Donald Trump's fickle leadership.
When was the last time that an American president didn't have a major conflict break out? The only answer is during the 4 years that Donald Trump was president.
And the economy.
Teachers, nurses, truck drivers, whatever. How is it fair that you're paying your taxes every year and Donald Trump hasn't paid any federal tax in the last 15 years?
Donald Trump delivered for the American people. Rising wages, rising take-home pay.
At times, the discussion more tense, like this exchange over the 2020 election.
Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
That is a damning non-answer.
In a new CBS News poll, debate watchers said the tone was generally positive. 42% thought that Vance won, while 41% thought Walz won. The rest said it was a tie. Though more said they think Walz is more prepared to be president. Walz also ranked higher on abortion and health care, while Vance got the edge on the economy and immigration.
Both vice presidential nominees back on the campaign trail today in crucial swing states. Vance will be in Michigan and Walz travels to Pennsylvania. The La Crosse County Democrats gathered at the Concordia Ballroom to watch last night's vice presidential debate. County Party Chair William Garcia praised Governor Walz's performance, highlighting his focus on middle-class issues and women's rights.
I think Walz is doing a great job talking about what his administration is about. It's about supporting the middle class. It's about ensuring that all people, especially women, have their rights restored. It's about honesty and decency towards other people.
And Wisconsin's GOP party chairman viewed the night as a win for Republicans, saying Vance looked sharp on stage and that Walz presented an agenda that is too far left, he said. Former President Trump campaigning in Wisconsin again yesterday, rallying supporters in the Madison suburb of Waunakee. This visit follows his Saturday stop in Prairie du Chien, where he sharply criticized Democrats on immigration. During his Waunakee appearance, Trump addressed the recent Iranian missile strikes on Israel, expressing deep concern about their potential global ramifications.
Talking about World War III for a long time, and I don't want to make predictions because the predictions always come true. We're not going to make, but they are very close to global catastrophe.
Second gentleman Doug Emhoff also campaigning in the Badger State. He spoke at a manufacturing business in Milwaukee. Israel and the White House are weighing next steps following a massive missile attack by Iran on Israel. The rocket barrage comes after Israel launched deadly strikes on Iranian-backed Hezbollah in Lebanon. The escalation is sparking growing fears of an expanding war in the region. CBS News correspondent Tina Kraus reports from London.
Israel is considering its next move after Iran fired a barrage of nearly 200 ballistic missiles at the Jewish state. It was Tehran's second attack on Israel in close to 6 months. Following Tuesday's wave of missiles, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Iran made a big mistake, and he vowed Iran will pay for it. Israel's ambassador told the United Nations Israel will decide when and how it will respond.
It will be noticed. It will be painful.
An Israeli military spokesman said the country's air defenses intercepted many of the incoming missiles, with help from the U.S. military and naval destroyers in the region. President Biden said the U.S. remains fully supportive of Israel and directed the U.S. military to help shoot down the Iranian missiles.
We're still assessing the impact. But based on what we know now, the attack appears to have been defeated and ineffective.
Iran says it launched the attack in retaliation for Israel's ground offensive in Lebanon and Israel's strikes on Hezbollah.
Iran is saying to Israel, look, we can get you. We know how to get you. We're not going to do it this time. We're not going to risk a war. We're not ready for a war yet. But if push comes to shove, we can do it.
The Pentagon moved additional military support to the Middle East ahead of Tuesday's attack. The U.S. has more than 40,000 troops and aircraft squadrons spread across the Middle East.
Right before the attack by Iran, at least 6 people were killed and several more hurt in a shooting in the Tel Aviv area. Police say it was an act of terrorism. President Biden is visiting an emergency operations center in Raleigh, North Carolina today to meet with officials and first responders addressing the destruction brought by Hurricane Helene. This comes as officials say the death toll now rising to at least 162 people, making Helene the second deadliest hurricane to hit the mainland U.S. in 50 years.
This is urgent. People have to know how to get the information they need. So we'll be there until this work is done.
Senators from both parties want disaster relief passed fast. They're pushing leaders to call Congress back if needed. Vice President Harris plans to visit the disaster areas in the coming days. Holman police say they've arrested an Onalaska man with 2 pounds of meth found during a traffic stop. 44-year-old Christopher Martinez is charged with possession with intent to sell methamphetamine. He appeared in La Crosse County Court Friday and is out on a $20,000 signature bond. A key committee giving the thumbs up for a new La Crosse City administrator. The Judiciary and Administration Committee voted 3-1 in favor of creating that position last night. This nonpartisan role would manage daily operations, develop budgets, and implement council policies. Mayor Mitch Reynolds backs the plan, saying it'll boost city efficiency. The job could pay up to $194,000 a year. Common Council still needs to make the final call on the new position. And a heads up now this morning for La Crosse North Side drivers. Both directions of traffic on George Street between Palace and Cunningham will be closed again today. City officials say that closure is for private utility work. A detour route will be posted and the work should be finished up by Friday. The time now is 6:08. Still ahead on your consumer news, a baby hippo is sparking a small business boom. We'll explain, and a vanilla ice cream lawsuit to tell you about. We'll also tell you who was just named the best convenience store in the U.S. Was it Quick Trip? We'll find out. And new numbers show tourism slumped this summer in Minnesota. Coming up, more on the slowdown and how small businesses are tackling summer tourism. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. This is take a look at how a Wisconsin shipwreck, missing for 130 years, was found in just 5 minutes by some lucky historians. The tugboat John Evenson vanished in 1895 after a collision in Sturgeon Bay. Searches since the 1980s have come up empty, but in September of this year, historians Brendan Bayot and Bob Yake tried a new approach. They mixed old records with new tech for what they thought would be a 3-day search, but 5 minutes in, they struck gold. Now they hope to get the site on the National Register and open it up to divers. For now, we're leaving you with a live look at Tel Aviv, Israel, where just yesterday at least 180 missiles were intercepted across Israel after being launched by Iran. This morning, we know that Israel is vowing to retaliate and is sending more troops to southern Lebanon. This as fears of a broadening and deeper conflict in the Middle East are growing. We will continue to monitor the situation and update you.
Stock up this month with the Holman Locker and Meat Market's 10-pound sale. Save on pork loin roast, ground beef, chicken breast, and chuck roast. Please call to order. Holman Locker and Meat Market, and much, much more.
I'm a nurse in Wisconsin, and my patients don't want politicians like Eric Hovde making their healthcare decisions.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
Hovde means what he says about opposing reproductive rights.
Eric Hovde supported overturning Roe v. Wade, which led to an abortion ban in Wisconsin.
And that's a ban with no exceptions for rape or incest.
What Hovde supports criminalizes abortion and doctors like me.
We need to vote against Eric Hovde.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
Is it past time for new windows? At River Valley Remodelers, there's no need to sacrifice quality for cost. We offer high-quality, energy-efficient replacement windows designed for all of our weather, keeping your home comfortable year-round. Our experts will help you find the perfect option that fits your budget and matches your style. Plus, with our free energy audit, you'll learn how to save more while upgrading your home. River Valley Remodelers, quality windows at a price you'll love. Call today for your free energy audit.
A suspected Venezuelan gang member who was arrested for domestic battery
violently attacked a woman physically and sexually.
The border crisis is real here in Wisconsin.
Criminal gangs harming our community.
We're stretched thin. Open borders and weak politicians are crushing us.
Rebecca Cook is one of them. She doesn't back law enforcement. She'll never secure the border. Doesn't even want to. That's why we stand with Derek Van Orton. He has our back. And I've got yours. I'm Derek Van Orton, and I approve this message.
Quartz takes a different approach to health insurance. We know every life well lived is a journey, and we're here to light the way at every step. That's why for 40 years, we've been alongside the doctors and hospitals who know what their communities need. Because they're a part of them. Because we're a part of them. There's a fire burning in all of us. Let's ignite it together. Quartz. Find your spark.
Fentanyl is one of the most lethal drugs on the market. This much can kill thousands. These deadly drugs are pouring across our border. But Biden, Harris, and Democrats have done nothing to stop it. Tammy Baldwin claims she's trying, but she's failed. She took credit for an anti-fentanyl bill she didn't write and opposed efforts to secure the border. Senator Baldwin and Democrats have done nothing, and our communities are paying the price.
I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message.
Maury's and Gunderson Health System have partnered up together here to really provide a great service to check car seats for new families, to bring their vehicle in here, because it can be very intimidating when you're trying to put it all together. We just want to provide a space to do that. Every first and third Thursday of the month through September, here at Audi Volkswagen on Theater Road, at Maury's, it's all about moving life forward. That's why we've joined with Center Stage in supporting non-for-profit businesses to give them power and impact in the community.
Holman Locker and Meat Market, your place for fresh, quality, local meat. Now's the time to stock up with our fall bundle. Call and order yours today. Eat healthy, shop local at your Holman Locker and Meat Market, and much, much more.
Good morning to you. Sustained winds right now are a little bit light, but we're holding on to wind gusts already beginning to pick up now. We're going to see limited fog due to those winds, and as we get into it today, we're going to warm you up into the 70s, and we're looking at least some breezy gusty winds ramping up as we go through the day. They're going to be up to 31 miles per hour plus in some cases. You've got the moisture that's limited up here right now, but you've got a cold front that's heading out to the eastern seaboard. You've got another cold front well out to the west starting to work its way in, and we've got the bottom portion of this system kind of lugging its way into the northern tier of the United States, and we're still getting breezy and gusty out of that. Here are the winds. Eau Claire at 12 miles per hour. You're looking at La Crosse at 10 miles per hour right now, but those winds will increase as we start out. Now, those are just sustained winds. It's looking pretty nice in La Crosse as well as Eau Claire right now. Not much in the way of fog, but I bumped up the temperatures now, except for here. You can see off to school for today, 47 degrees and brisk for the kids heading out to school this morning in Eau Claire. 77 degrees for your high today. I bumped it up. You're going to probably be warmer than La Crosse today. We'll also see La Crosse this morning, 46 degrees, brisk out there as well. A few clouds drifting on by. Get into sunshine going into the afternoon at 76 degrees for you. How about this though? There's the fog right there down to the south. Now Boscobel is in dense fog. It's slowly starting to work its way into Prairie du Chien as well as Viroqua. Right now everybody else is doing quite nicely because of the breezier winds. Hey, current temperatures right now, you're still holding on to the low 30s here, so hitting the freezing mark in Black River Falls. No frost out there. You may find yourself with a little bit of frosting working on your car, but nothing reported thus far. 24-hour temperature change, we're at least now up to 13 degrees cooler than we were 24 hours ago for some locations. La Crosse is 5 degrees cooler. Current dew points, we are dry right now, and you can see these winds as we go through the morning hours. 10 o'clock, we're looking at least 20 miles per hour, getting up to 31 miles per hour in Eau Claire, 29 in La Crosse. As we finish out the afternoon, you're seeing at least winds up to above 25 miles per hour. Be safe out there. I'll have more about this for you in a moment.
In your consumer news this morning, a baby pygmy hippo is making big waves in Thailand's business world. Mu Dang was born at the Khao Kieu Open Zoo, and she's become an unlikely economic star. Her name means bouncing pig in Thai, and she's living up to that. This pint-sized charmer with her irresistible pink cheeks has sparked a small business boom across Thailand. In Bangkok, a cake shop called Vet Mon Cafe is drawing crowds with these hippo-shaped treats. Mu Dang's popularity has inspired everything from cosmetics to fashion lines. Even global corporations are taking notice. Breyers is agreeing to settle a class action lawsuit over its natural vanilla ice cream for nearly $9 million. According to court documents, the suit alleges the ice cream was labeled vanilla, implying the flavor only came from a vanilla plant, but that wasn't the case. The defendants, which include Breyers' owner, Unilever, and advertiser Conopco, have denied any wrongdoing. The court also ruled the companies must develop a new product formula that does not include vanilla from non-vanilla plant sources within a year. An official winner has been crowned in the battle for the best convenience store chain in the country. And sorry for Quick Trip fans, it is Philadelphia-based Wawa that took the top spot with the highest marks for customer satisfaction among all U.S. chains. That's according to a survey of nearly 6,000 customers released by the American Customer Satisfaction Index. New numbers are showing tourism slumped this summer in Minnesota. David Schumann shows us what's behind the slowdown.
Summer 2024 wrote different stories for Sugar Lake Lodge near Grand Rapids and Appledorn's Sunset Bay Resort on Lake Mille Lacs.
Honestly, it was incredible. One of the better summers we've had.
We did see an overall decline in the occupancy.
At Sugar Lake, owner Abby Oxborough says family reunions are what boosted her business, a segment of customers that Appledorn says it's also focusing on.
Everybody's kind of being a little bit tighter in how much they're spending and what they're spending on, and I think that quality time is the push.
More than 250 hospitality and tourism businesses responded to a survey by the Federal Reserve, Hospitality Minnesota, and Explore Minnesota Tourism. Half of them said business was slower this summer than last, and higher cost of living cutting into customer demand was cited as one of the reasons why. Inflation has slowed down considerably, but 60% of businesses said their expenses going up was a top challenge.
We've seen the uptick in charges for food, transportation, alcohol.
Wages are at an all-time high for us.
It was also a rainy summer, which didn't help. Despite all this, the survey found 2/3 of businesses were either optimistic or neutral about the next 6 months.
There's always that wonder, with an election and what the economy is going to look like. Are people going to want to vacation? We don't know.
I think we're going to do excellent this next year. Keep the small business owner in mind.
That's it for your morning consumer news. Time now is 6:18. Let's check in with Art for a look at our forecast.
All right, Alexandra, as we get into it, limited fog this morning. We're also going to be seeing warming conditions coming in today. It's going to bump us up into the middle 70s. And the breezy winds and gusty winds, they're going to ramp up today, getting up to above 31 miles per hour for some locations. As we roll into it, you take a look at La Crosse. We're holding on to 47 degrees going the 7 o'clock hour. Temperatures will hold on to the 50s, 60s, bumping up every 10 degrees or so, in some cases going all all the way to 1 p.m. and then continuing to get up into some 70s, holding on. I think we're going to get to 76 degrees today. Eau Claire holding on to at least 48 degrees to start, and then they're going to warm up as well, 50s and 60s as we go through the morning hours. Then getting into the afternoon, you're looking at those 70s rolling in. I suspect you'll get up to 77 degrees too today. Hey, here's a look at what's happening. Out of Canada, we've got some colder air coming in as well as some breezy and gusty winds working across the area. Now, the frontal portion of that is well up to our east and getting out of the way here, but we're in like the back part of that, holding on to some winds that are going to come in, kick through, and it's going to bring in some breezy and gusty winds, as I mentioned before. That being said, we've got drier conditions on the way here as well. You see these winds cutting through. They're going to be very breezy and gusty, going up to at least 20 to 30 miles per hour as we go through the early afternoon, continuing through the middle to late afternoon. You're going to still see that continuing to happen and then beginning to subside slowly but surely going through your evening commute, but it'll still be breezy and gusty out there. All right, so fire danger continues. We have a high risk right now in the yellow, and that continues on right through La Crosse there. We also have some smoke moving into the forecast through here as well today, and then cutting through once those winds really begin to pick up. Right now the radar is dry so far, and we're seeing a little bit of moisture out there by Austin. We'll go right into how this all plays out. As I mentioned, the cooler air trying to get down here, but we've got high pressure beginning to build back, and slowly but surely it's kind of booting most of that away. So we have some southerly winds eventually coming into the forecast, and they're going to really pick up and push everything again into breezy conditions going into Saturday and Sunday. Once that happens, we may even see a little bit of light rainfall coming in Saturday night into Sunday. That being said, Wednesday you're looking at possibly getting into the 70s, as I mentioned, with some 60s in there as well as we finish out the 2 o'clock hour, warming up by 4 o'clock. You're seeing temperatures 76 in La Crosse, Eau Claire at 77 degrees, Ladysmith 71, and you're going to see by Prairie du Chien about 73 degrees. That being said, here's a better look at your highs, 73 all the way down to at least 76 to 77 degrees. Down to the south, you've got 75, and then we've got over the next few days, going into the next 6 to 10 days, believe it or not, we're going to see mild conditions working through your forecast. Now, away we go with highs today, 76 today, 75 tomorrow. The winds have subsided. We'll hold on to mild conditions going right through Thursday and Friday with maybe a light 10 to 20% chance of rainfall. Saturday and Sunday, we've got breezy and gusty winds coming through again, and windy conditions possibly on Saturday. We'll also see as we roll into temperatures getting up to 80 degrees for Saturday, and then dropping down to 68 degrees, and then the mild returns to finish out into next week. Back to you.
Thank you. All right, the time now is 6:21. Still ahead on your morning news, a mixed bag of news about breast cancer in the U.S. New numbers show more women are being diagnosed, but there is also a silver lining. We'll break down the latest report from the American Cancer Society, including some surprising trends.
Coming up in the Blitz, a busy night of action in the area Tuesday. See which squads are setting themselves up for a conference crown next.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Fentanyl is killing over 1,000 people a year in Wisconsin. New reporting shows that Eric Hovde is doing business with a bank accused of links to the Mexican drug cartel. Banco Azteca loaded up $26 million in cash and flew it to Eric Hovde's bank in California. Other U.S. banks have cut ties with this Mexican bank, but Eric Hovde took their money. That's 26 million more reasons you can't trust Eric Hovde.
You just have to get in the seat of a John Deere Gator XUV 835M, not because of the spacious cargo box, or because it can tackle any terrain, not even because it tows up to 4,000 pounds. You just have to get in the seat because something about being this productive just makes you smile.
Visit Tractor Central, take a seat, and see for yourself why nothing runs like a Deere. Start now at TractorCentral.com.
I'm Steve from Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions. If you see discoloration or damaged wood here, that can mean rotted materials here. Cheap repairs or inserts can cause bigger problems fast. You need a trusted window company to replace the window and fix the surrounding materials correctly. Our team will complete our Weather Guardian 15-step installation process on every job to ensure your home and family are safe before we leave. Call now for our buy 3, get 1 free special. Choose Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions or something less.
If you want selection, then that's what we've got at King Furniture. More sofas, more recliners, more mattresses, more of everything. You're going to find whatever you want, and you're going to find plenty of it. And it's all priced to go with 0% easy payment plans available. And as always, free delivery. Just try that anywhere else. Come visit us today. King Furniture. Nice people, nice furniture.
Phones were made to help us connect, and somehow they've made us less connected. Which is ironic, don't you think? We try to put our phones down, but we need to pick them up to see the menu. We can't watch something without also watching something else.
Ironic.
Ironic. But look, here's a phone company who wants you to use your phone less.
That's ironic.
Yeah, but in a good way. Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Traffic jam. Ugh, and I'm already late.
Arthritis, high blood pressure, breast cancer. Almost everyone has a pre-existing condition and could lose health insurance if Derek Van Orden and Washington Insiders get their way. They take money from big insurance companies, then try to strip coverage for pre-existing conditions. Van Orden and Washington Insiders don't care about you, so if you get sick, you get dropped. Time to drop Derek Van Orden and these Washington Insiders from Congress.
I'm Rebecca Cook, and I approve this message.
Welcome to the Blitz. Well, temperatures are getting colder, a little bit cooler according to Art, but conference races are heating up. A packed night of action last night, so let's get right into it. Toma hosting Holman as the Vikings looking to stay atop the standings, and they were rolling early. It's junior Brianna Schmidt reaching back and firing down a ball on the line for the points. Then not much later, it's Schmidt this time going off speed. Away side feeling good early. Toma not backing down from the challenge. Senior Libby Matheson is going to blast one past the Holman front line, but it would not be enough as the Vikings would get back on track and end the set thanks to this massive spike coming from Charlie Casey. Holman picks up the quick sweep of the Timberwolves, staying perfect in MVC play. So let's check in and see how the co-leaders Aquinas fared. Blue Gold's facing Central at home. Riverhawks trying to set the tone at the net early. Aaliyah Shields sends that one back where it came from to tie things up. Then the home side starts finding some success offensively. Nice back set at the net, and then Emma Dobbins slides to the right and sends it down. And then Josephine Lawton puts one on a platter to Addison 4. She skies for the kill. Coach Dolan liking what she's seeing. Central still battling. Sierra Freed is going to pick up the ace for the visitors, but it was not enough. Aquinas improves to 7-1 in the MVC, and that sets up a big showdown Thursday. Blue Golds versus the Vikings. Over to West Salem we go as the Panthers battling Luther. First set, Panthers looking to stay perfect in conference play, and Sydney Quick looking to get things started as she fires down a point for the kill right there. Panthers would take the first two sets, but Luther is second in conference for a reason. Audrey Clark, the freshman, would rifle it through the defense as the Lady Knights would take set 3. But here comes the Panthers once again on the prowl. Natalie Reichert coming up here, launching one to the hardwood as West Salem tries to put this one away. And here comes the senior McKenna Ely. Forget the set, she takes matters into her own hands and slings it over the net. Panthers staying perfect in Cooley play. Over on the West Salem soccer field, West Salem hosting Aquinas. Aquinas up in this one and looking to add to it, but Samuel Dickinson does not get enough power on that header. Second half then, West Salem looking to get the game within reach. Justice Lehman sends it up, but John Veglon comes down with it. Blue Golds will get the clean sheet win, 3-0, and remain unbeaten in MVC play. Holman also looking to remain unbeaten in conference play, taking on the Onalaska Hilltoppers. First half, Vikings attacking early and often. The header here is on target, but Ryan Vreens gets a huge save, keeping this game scoreless. A few moments later, though, Holman gets on the board. Andrew Ripp gets some space and fires one past the keeper for the score. Vikings take a 1-0 lead. And after an Onalaska penalty, it's Ripp on the PK, off the post and in. Holman goes up 2 as they would get the win, 5-1. And the Brewers drop their wild card round opener against the Mets, 8-4. So the season is on the line tonight at 6:30. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
The National Home Furnishing Sale has come to Home Furniture with recession buster deals store-wide. Get up to an extra 15% savings from all of our best furniture factories. Hurry in, factory direct savings won't last long. The National Home Furnishing Sale at Home Furniture ends Wednesday.
Small businesses are the backbone of our community. These places employ us, sponsor the Little League team, and feed and clothe us. That's why I'm proud of the work I've done to support our business community. I know that the side of the aisle you're on matters less than being on the side of our main streets. No party has a monopoly on good ideas. I'm Steve Doyle, and I'm working for our businesses, working for our communities, and I'm working for you.
Sometimes a celebration means fireworks and loud music. I'll just tell you that I'm celebrating 35 years at the board store, 80 years on the planet, and my daughter Danielle becoming the new general manager of the board store. Let what's personal to me be personal to you with savings on your next home improvement.
Call for a prompt free estimate on windows and doors, on siding or gutters, on a bathroom or a kitchen, on a sunroom or deck.
Better products.
Better people.
Better prices.
The board store, improving your home, improving your life.
Party pants on, people! Taco John's new 2 for $5 Fiesta Chicken Tacos are here. That's right, grilled all white meat chicken is here to Fiesta. Fresh Pico is here to Fiesta. And Fiesta sauce is obviously here to Fiesta. It's Fiesta sauce, kinda its whole thing. That and being creamy and savory and awesome. Fiesta at our place and lasers. New 2 for $5 Fiesta Chicken Tacos. Only at Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better.
As the mom of a daughter, I'm livid that boys are now being allowed to compete in girls' sports. It's just wrong, and I blame Tammy Baldwin. She voted to let biological men into women's sports. Worse, Baldwin co-sponsored legislation to force girls to share locker rooms with biological men. Tammy Baldwin is failing to keep our families safe. Tammy Baldwin's extreme values are wrong for Wisconsin. Fix Washington PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
It seems like everyone in Washington is either too far left or too far right. I'm Rebecca Cook, and like most folks in Wisconsin, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'll stand up to Democrats to fight for a secure border and stop wasteful spending. I'll stand up to extremists like Derek Van Orden, who wants to ban all abortions with no exceptions. Like you, I'm fed up and ready for change. I approve this message because it's time that we sent one of us to Congress.
Introducing the Organic Avocado Mattress, a premium sleep solution that offers the perfect blend of comfort and sustainability at Home Sleep Express. Right now, pay no interest for 3 years, plus get free white glove delivery on an avocado mattress from Home Sleep Express.
Expect more from News 8 Now. Thanks for watching.
In your morning medical news, older adults who experience a fall face a higher risk of dementia within a year. That's according to a new study. Researchers from Brigham and Women's Hospital in Massachusetts say the increased risk is 21%. They add the link between falls and dementia appears to be a two-way street, with cognitive decline increasing the likelihood of falls and the trauma of the falls accelerating the progression of dementia. Louisiana's new law now classifies key abortion medications as controlled dangerous substances. The drugs mifepristone and misoprostol are also used for miscarriage care and to stop postpartum bleeding. Under the law, misoprostol must be stored in locked boxes like other controlled substances. Doctors worry this could delay critical treatment in hospital emergencies. This first of its kind law in the U.S. is raising concerns about women's health care access. And new research finds combining time-restricted eating with standard nutrition counseling results in greater blood sugar control and fat loss than nutrition counseling alone. Researchers looked at people with metabolic syndrome. They found the group whose eating was restricted to an 8 to 10 hour daily window not only lost more weight, but a higher proportion of the weight loss was from fat, suggesting the intervention likely poses a lower risk of muscle loss. Behind cancers of the skin, it is the most common cancer in U.S. women. The American Cancer Society estimates more than 310,000 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer this year. But a new report finds the number of women dying from the disease has dropped substantially over the past 35 years. Mandy Gaither has a look at the new data.
It's good news, but also bad.
First, a new American Cancer Society report reveals overall breast cancer death rates have plummeted 44% in the past 35 years.
Which is really a dramatic decrease. And we think that's, over 500,000 breast cancer deaths have been averted, which is really spectacular.
But researchers also discovered an upward trend in breast cancer incidence, with the steepest increase in women younger than 50, rising by 1% each year between 2012 and 2021. And Asian American and Pacific Islander women of any age increasing in that time by up to 2.7% a year. The report also says that while more white women are diagnosed with breast cancer, more black women die from it, especially young black women.
So if you're a black woman between the ages of 20 and 29, you're really 2 times more likely to die of breast cancer than your white classmate or your white colleague.
Dr. William Dayhut believes screenings and new treatments have led to the overall breast cancer death rate drop, but he says closing the disparity gaps for all women will take more research.
What is driving the cancer risk, whether it's obesity, changes in childbearing habits, or really whether it's a lot of it may be driven to really access to the right kind of care.
In an effort to address those ongoing cancer disparities, the American Cancer Society launched a study called Voices of Black Women that is aimed at researching younger black women in the U.S. who have not been diagnosed with cancer to try to better understand their risk and cancer outcomes. Anyone interested can visit their website, voices.cancer.org. And Gunderson Health System's latest Steppin' Out in Pink event really stepping up its game this year. The annual walk raised $440,000 for breast cancer patients and research in our area. That is $40,000 more than last year. Organizers say more than 4,000 people participated in the 19th annual event last month. If you missed out, there is still time to donate. You can find a link to do so on our website. The Hunger Task Force of La Crosse is bringing back its virtual food drive for a second year. It's going on this month. This online initiative allows people to donate money towards specific food items. The task force then uses these funds to purchase and distribute the goods to local pantries. Organizers say this virtual drive is crucial as supplies are critically low. And October is Adopt a Shelter Dog Month. The Coulee Region Humane Society is making it easier to do that. The nonprofit is cutting adoption fees in half for dogs 6 months and older. Approximately 2,000 domestic animals were brought to the Coulee Region Humane Society last year. An effort like this helps control animal overpopulation and spreads awareness about the value of a shelter dog.
Adopting from a shelter really helps control the stray population, and you're getting a dog that's already been out in the open. The breeders are definitely adding to the problem of overpopulation of the dogs.
According to their website, there were about 20 dogs to choose from. We have a link to all of their adorable faces so that you can check them out. Time now is 6:37. Here is News 8 meteorologist Art Jarrett to tell us what to expect on our morning commute.
All right, we have critical fire weather in some cases going to north as well as the east today. We're in a high risk here locally as we go right into it. We have the breezy and gusty winds getting up to 31 miles per hour today, and across the nation you can see all of that fire. In fact, the south is back now after Helene is gone now. In fact, you're holding on to breezy and gusty winds, as I mentioned. This will starting off right now. We'll also see our mild conditions carrying over all the way through the week and into next week as well. So we're going to hold on to the mild. We may even get up to at least some 80s once we go into Saturday. Hey, but first you take a look here. We've got the winds coming out of Canada. We're also going to get some winds coming out of the south as well. That's going to usher in some breezy and gusty winds. This morning, we're still holding on to 47 degrees, or at least around there, 46 to 47 degrees. You'll see it kind of click over as we go into 8 o'clock. You're looking at least 49 degrees, and then holding on to 57 through the late morning, and around noontime, still about 68 degrees, believe it or not. We'll hold on to, again, looking at conditions to be like this. We'll get into some breezy winds. They'll be up to at least 27 miles per hour once we get in the 11 o'clock hour. Then we get into the afternoon and evening hours. You're looking at winds holding on to at least 20 miles per hour, and Eau Claire holding on to about 22. We'll see winds up to at least to 31 miles per hour up in Eau Claire once we get into the 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock hours here. We're also seeing very dry conditions for now. As we go deeper into our forecast, we'll find ourselves with temperatures or rainfall possibly moving back into the area soon.
Before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
Hey, sadly, we don't have any birthdays to celebrate with you today.
If you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old, we'd love to feature them.
Yeah, that's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website.
Coming up, from King Street to Broadway, how local talent is lighting up the stage. We're joined by the producer of an upcoming cabaret performance at the Pump House.
Stock up this month with the Holman Locker and Meat Market's 10-pound sale. Save on pork loin roast, ground beef, chicken breast, and chuck roast. Please call to order. Holman Locker and Meat Market, and much, much more.
I'm a nurse in Wisconsin, and my patients don't want politicians like Eric Hovde making their healthcare decisions.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
Hovde means what he says about opposing reproductive rights.
Eric Hovde supported overturning Roe v. Wade, which led to an abortion ban in Wisconsin.
And that's a ban with no exceptions for rape or incest.
What Hovde supports criminalizes abortion and doctors like me.
We need to vote against Eric Hovde.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
Is it past time for new windows? At River Valley Remodelers, there's no need to sacrifice quality for cost. We offer high-quality, energy-efficient replacement windows designed for all of our weather, keeping your home comfortable year-round. Our experts will help you find the perfect option that fits your budget and matches your style. Plus, with our free energy audit, you'll learn how to save more while upgrading your home. River Valley Remodelers, quality windows at a price you'll love. Call today for your free energy audit.
We need real working people in Washington.
What a phony. Cook spent the last decade working as a political operative. Earned her money helping defund the police radicals like Mandela Barnes, the most anti-police candidate in Wisconsin history. Now, Cook won't let you protect your family. She wants to ban the most popular rifle in the country, earning an F from the NRA. Rebecca Cook, phony insider, dangerously liberal.
I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, you can lease a tough new 2024 Tacoma for $319 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Arthritis, high blood pressure, breast cancer. Almost everyone has a pre-existing condition and could lose health insurance if Derek Van Orden and Washington insiders get their way. They take money from big insurance companies, then try to strip coverage for pre-existing conditions. Van Orden and Washington insiders don't care about you, so if you get sick, you get dropped. Time to drop Derek Van Orden and these Washington insiders from Congress.
I'm Rebecca Cook, and I approve this message.
Holman Locker and Meat Market, your place for fresh, quality, local meat. Now's the time to stock up with our fall bundle. Call and order yours today. Eat healthy, shop local at your Holman Locker and Meat Market, and much, much more.
All right, going into this morning, we are holding on to limited fog. We have some fog that is dense down by Boscobel. Getting into warming today as well. We'll bump our temperatures up into the middle 70s. Breezy and gusty winds will ensue. We'll hold on to the winds ramping up as well. They're already starting to kick up. They're up to about 15 miles per hour gusting right now with sustained winds just to be just around 10 miles per hour. We'll carry over into the tonight as well, and those winds will begin to subside. That being said, we'll also be picking up conditions to be, well, a little bit cooling as we go right into the next couple of days. Let's take a quick peek here. I want to make sure this is working for you here as we get into it here, and there we go. We're looking as we go right into La Crosse Planner here. You're seeing temperatures warm up. I suspect we'll get up to about 76 degrees today. Eau Claire will get up to about 77 degrees through the day, and we'll also hold on to drier conditions and, of course, those breezy winds putting it. So that makes us in critical fire danger in some cases as well. Right now, we're at that heightened risk. You can see here going into it, not much in the way of cloud cover. We'll also hold on to these winds. You can see getting up to at least 23 miles per per hour going to the 10 o'clock hour, speeding up to 29 miles per hour to 31 miles per hour once you get into Eau Claire. So these winds will continue to increase. You can see all that kind of sweeping through from west to east across the area today. That means critical fire danger. As you can see, it is a heightened risk, and that will continue all the way possibly into the next couple of days here. That being said, the winds will subside, but we'll see dry conditions today on the radar, holding on to this system coming out of Canada, as well as kind of moving in. We've got high pressure trying to build up from the south as well, so that's going to exacerbate the problem for the heat. So we'll keep the heat up slowly but surely into the middle 70s. Then we'll start to see maybe a couple of degrees cooler once we go into Friday. That being said, you're going to bump that out of the way, and you'll hold on to temperatures like this here with those southerly winds. Temperatures getting up to at least the 2 o'clock hour, holding on to around the low to middle 70s, upper 60s for Ladysmith. And then once we get into how this all plays out, our temperatures will be widespread in the mid 70s, possibly for most folks. Sunny and warmer today. Gusty winds will ensue, and you can see how these temperatures are going to play out for everybody as well. So low to middle 70s. You're going to see the conditions over the next 6 to 10 days also showing warmth. So we'll keep that warmth going into next week as well. And as we go into it here, you're going to be seeing middle 70s into Thursday, 72 degrees once you go into Friday, and then we go up to 80 degrees going into Saturday, drop it back down into upper 60s for us, so a little bit cooler. You're seeing the low temperatures around, say, 42 in the morning, and then once we go into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, the mild returns. We're on the cooler side of mild and warming up as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday, and of course, drier conditions still are holding on to the area. I'll have more coming up for you in just a bit.
This morning, we are thrilled to be joined by Nancy Allen, the creative force behind the upcoming Cocktails and Cabaret production, A Night in New York City, set to dazzle audiences at the Pump House Regional Arts Center this October. We are joined with Nancy this morning to tell us more. So good morning, Nancy. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So for people who've never been to a Cocktails and Cabaret show before, what can we expect from this night in New York City?
Well, A Night in New York City, I wanted to do a show that would kind of bring a little bit of Broadway and a little bit of what New York has to offer to La Crosse. So there'll be songs from many musicals of different genres. There will be some jazz charts performed, and also songs that you would hear in a cabaret club if you went to hear a Broadway entertainer perform.
All right, very cool.
So when are the shows, and when can we get tickets, or where can we get tickets?
Shows open October 10, 11, and 12, 7:30 p.m. at the Pump House Regional Arts Center.
Okay.
Okay, great. And then do you recommend getting tickets in advance, or can those be bought at the door also?
I recommend in advance. We did a show last year and it sold out.
Oh, wow. Okay, and we've got some information up on the screen now if people do want to get their tickets. So just tell us a little bit more about what inspired you to create this New York City themed show.
Well, I think most of all the variety of music that you can bring into a show of that nature. So there's some things from the early 1900s all the way through to music today.
Okay, so very fun. Yeah,
a wide
sounds like
variety.
It's gonna be, yeah, very fun. Yeah.
Hey, can you give us an overview or maybe a sneak peek of what's to come? Or maybe you can tell us what's in the show?
Well, sure. I think some of the things in the show that people will enjoy are the variety of songs represented in the musicals, from the Golden Age musicals, jukebox musicals, to contemporary musicals today, as well as comedy songs from the cabaret genre and some beautiful jazz stylings by the ensemble.
Okay, so lots of music, lots of singing along, it sounds like. What about ages? Is this, should you leave the kids at home for this one? What do you recommend?
I recommend it's a 2-hour show, so I think probably a little bit older crowd is a little more ready to sit through that.
Yeah, okay. And have you guys done different styles of cabaret shows?
I have.
Okay.
I've been doing cabaret shows for about 10 years. I started at Viterbo University when I was a professor of music there, and when I retired, the Pump House was very eager to bring us into their umbrella, and so there's many themes in the past that have gone on, but one thing to look forward to is this spring we have #1 hits from the British invasion coming up in the spring. So there's always a different theme for every show.
So okay, well that'll be fun.
Do I have a favorite? My recent favorite is our Love Show from Valentine's Day.
Oh,
I really enjoyed putting that show together and the variety of the music, and I think the audience really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and you have such an interesting and fun job. What's your favorite part about being able to bring these kinds of things to our community?
I think hearing the audience enjoy the show and watching the growth of the cast members from our first rehearsal when we barely get through the music to putting on the final product, those are both really joyful for me.
Okay, very fun. Anything else you want people to know about the show?
I just hope they come and enjoy the comedy numbers and the moments to grab your partner's hands and just enjoy the show.
Yeah, sounds like a great time, Nancy. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Stick with us. We're back right after this.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Fentanyl is killing over 1,000 people a year in Wisconsin. New reporting shows that Eric Hovde is doing business with a bank accused of links to the Mexican drug cartel. Banco Azteca loaded up $26 million in cash and flew it to Eric Hovde's bank in California. Other U.S. banks have cut ties with this Mexican bank, but Eric Hovde took their money. That's 26 million more reasons you can't trust Eric Hovde.
I'm Steve from Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions. If you have trouble opening a window or keeping one in place, you may have frame damage, worn materials, or even hidden problems you can't see. You need a trusted window company to evaluate it, check for hidden issues, and possibly replace the window. Our team will complete our Weather Guardian 15-step installation process on every job to ensure your home and family are safe before we leave. Call now for our buy 3, get 1 free special. Choose Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions or something less.
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal, come have a taste of Wisconsin.
America's Dairyland,
as in real dairy.
It gives Culver's fresh frozen custard its famous rich and creamy flavor. Like really rich.
So rich.
Rich and creamy.
And our cook-to-order Butterburgers?
They're topped with, you guessed it, Wisconsin cheese.
But it's the smiles we put on your face with every meal made just for you.
It really makes our hearts melt.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
It seems like everyone in Washington is either too far left or too far right. I'm Rebecca Cook, and like most folks in Wisconsin, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'll stand up to Democrats to fight for a secure border and stop wasteful spending. I'll stand up to extremists like Derek Van Orden, who wants to ban all abortions with no exceptions. Like you, I'm fed up and ready for change. I approve this message because it's time that we sent one of us to Congress.
Quartz takes a different approach to health insurance. We know every life well lived is a journey, and we're here to light the way at every step. That's why for 40 years, we've been alongside the doctors and hospitals who know what their communities need, because they're a part of them, because we're a part of them. There's a fire burning in all of us. Let's ignite it together. Quartz, find your spark.
Join us October 12th and 13th at the Onalaska Omni Center.
Welcome back. It's 6:51. Time for your morning news now. Holman police say they arrested an Onalaska man with 2 pounds of meth during a traffic stop. 44-year-old Christopher Martinez is charged with possession with intent to sell methamphetamine. He appeared in La Crosse County Court Friday and is out on a $20,000 signature bond. Iran launched at least 180 missiles into Israel on Tuesday. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu now vowing to retaliate after Tehran's second attack on the Jewish state in close to 6 months. Israel's military says the country's air defenses intercepted many of the incoming missiles with help from U.S. forces and naval destroyers. The death toll from Hurricane Helene is now more than 160 people that is expected to keep rising. Helene is already one of the deadliest storms in U.S. history. In North Carolina, National Guard crews are searching for stranded residents and delivering food and water to people who have waited days for relief. J.D. Vance and Tim Walz sparring on a number of policy issues during the first and likely only vice presidential debate last night. It was hosted in New York by CBS News, and the Ohio Republican senator and Democratic governor from Minnesota clashed on things like the economy, abortion, border security, gun violence, and the Middle East. At times, both candidates went after each other's running mate. The La Crosse County Democrats gathered at the Concordia Ballroom to watch last night's debate. County Party Chair William Garcia praised Governor Walz's performance, highlighting his focus on middle-class issues and women's rights.
I think Walz is doing a great job talking about what his administration is about. It's about supporting the middle class. It's about ensuring that all people, especially women, have their rights restored. It's about honesty and decency towards other people.
Meanwhile, Wisconsin's GOP party chairman sees the night as a win for Republicans, saying Vance looked sharp and Walz presented an agenda that he says is too far left. A key committee giving the thumbs up for a new La Crosse City administrator. The Judiciary and Administration Committee voted 3-1 last night in favor of creating the position. This nonpartisan role would manage daily operations, develop budgets, and implement city council policies. Mayor Mitch Reynolds backs the plan, saying it'll boost city efficiency. The job could pay up to $194,000 a year. Common Council still needs to make the final call on the new position. And a heads up for drivers on La Crosse's north side. Both directions of traffic on George Street between Palace and Cunningham will be closed today. City officials say the closure is for private utility work. A detour route will be posted. The work should be done by Friday. October is Adopt a Shelter Dog Month. The Cooley Region Humane Society is making it easier to do that. The nonprofit is cutting adoption fees in half for dogs 6 months and older. About 2,000 domestic animals were brought to the Cooley Region Humane Society last year, they say, and an effort like this helps control animal overpopulation and spreads awareness about shelter dogs.
Adopting from a shelter really helps control the stray population, and you're getting a dog that's already been out in the open. The breeders are definitely adding to the problem of overpopulation of the dogs.
There are about 20 dogs currently to choose from. The Hunger Task Force of La Crosse is bringing back its virtual food drive this month. The online initiative allows people to donate money towards specific food items. The task force then uses that money to buy the items and distribute it to local pantries.
All right. Taking a look at your current temperatures right now, we're looking at areas right by Sparta and Black River Falls. Potential frost is now a thing for you, possibly as well, and going to Boscobel, you could see that possibly as well. Here's observed winds right now. You're looking at least the winds to be nearing just light to near moderate winds up to 10 to 12 miles per hour, but the wind gusts will pick up as we see here going into the morning and afternoon hours. We're going to be up to 30 miles per hour plus. Your highs today widespread in the 70s. In fact, we'll see over the next few days, mild conditions will ensue, but we'll also see temperatures bump up to the warm on Saturday. We'll also see some windy conditions going to breezy conditions on Sunday, and of course, we'll see the mild return for next week.
And in California, an unusual discovery was made from the coast. A sea lion was found stranded by an inland highway more than 2 miles from the ocean. CHP Santa Cruz officials, along with several other agencies there, they've made this map of it traveling, right? They responded to the scene. They successfully captured the marine mammal. And there's no explanation for how the sea lion traveled so far inland. Officials report it is now on the path to recovery. I guess you would like to be lost in California, wouldn't you?
Oh, wouldn't you?
Yeah, pretty good place to be lost and roaming around.
I could use some real nice oranges right about now.
Yeah, I know you've been craving those. Nice orange juice sounds good this morning. Thank you, Art. And thank you for starting your morning with us. We will see you back here at noon. Until then, enjoy your day.